Alright, we're starting now. Okay, hello YouTube. This is the first time we're doing something like this. Um, yeah, so we're gonna be commentating over this stupid little game that we made because it's cool, I
With
guess.
me, I'm also here.
Yeah, and
I
this,
also made it.
yeah, this
Yeah.
this stupid guy. So right now we're at the menu. You can obviously see Peyton's logged in there. Look at that.
Yeah, this is my gameplay, so you're
This-
watching over an hour of me.
Oh
No,
yeah,
less than that.
totally.
Yep. And then Ollie's here because he made music and jump scares, but he
Totally.
sucks. So
Yeah.
Oh
Totally,
yeah.
totally.
Yeah. So these options are pretty cool.
yeah, just fiddling and dicking around with
All
that
right, so
shit.
the game's starting now. So this is okay. So this is like this render was made by Hudo Boy, or wait, no, Unimpressed Me. That's what he goes by now, right?
Yeah.
That's why it looks kind of
And
like.
let me just preface. Let's start off this commentary by getting out of the way that Sue is not the phone guy. Okay?
Yeah, no,
you
Sue-
guys can shut up.
Sue was named after my manager from my former job.
Yeah.
That I got
that's
fired
adorable.
from.
Yeah, Sue
alright.
has no relevance to anything else.
So right off the bat, the animatronics being in the office was kind of always something that I wanted to do when we first started this version of development, at least. Because I remember Pop Goes did like this kind of thing, and I thought that was kind of cool. So I just okay, let's rip off Pop Goes, and that's how it happened.
And then I also remember you saying, like, you believed, like, and you're still under the impression that, like, back in the 70s, there weren't really office spaces, and you thought it'd be better and, like, make more sense if they just put you right out here looking at what you were put there to protect.
Yeah, exactly. No, yes, because like the original Pizza Time Theater, this is like kind of like a make believe version of one of the original locations. As you can see, it's in 1979. So, okay, someone left. Okay, whatever.
Cool.
Someone joined again. Okay, so yeah, so like back then the locations were extremely small. You know, they didn't have this stuff back then. Like there wasn't animatronic pizzerias. So like they obviously didn't plan that kind of thing. So it always made sense to me that there wouldn't be an office, a proper office. And that's why it's here. And people don't understand that it's a dining room.
Yeah, it's also a dining room. You can kind of see the tables off to the sides, but like people were also saying like, why don't you just like hang out in the backstage? But like for the first 4 to 5 nights of the game, I think on the last night when we get to that, we'll talk about like what that last call means. But for pretty much the whole game, the place is under renovation, so they would just put you out here because no one's gonna be here and like see your computer and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
So yeah, the phone guy, I remember. So we always get voice acting done for the beginning of development usually. Right now for Casa, we're not doing that because we haven't been any auditions. But I remember I got the voice for Chucky and Phone Guy, like right even before we had graphics, and. The phone guy, well, it just ended, but the phone guy, I remember when I set up the casting call thing, I wanted him to sound super tired and like he was reading off of note cards. So the audition that I got from Christian, or Nuclear Chef, whatever he goes by, I remember he was like the only good one well, I mean, I don't know, I don't want to sound insulting to other people, but like, I feel like he was the only one that understood what I was looking for, and I feel like he fit the character the most.
And you see, while Andrew was talking about this fucking Nuclear Chef Pasquale person, Chuck left the stage, and maybe we should talk about, his mechanic. So, basically, if you turn around, I don't know when in the gameplay it'll happen, but there is the gate behind you, as you probably already noticed in the gameplay. Brought that back from the original game. But now it's behind you and not in front of you, where like there's a vent and like a closet. There's not all that stuff. We really only like preserved the gate. There are parallels to the other mechanics, but
Yeah.
the gate's the main thing that we kept.
Yeah, no, definitely, because in the demo there was a door mechanic, and in the full game there was a door mechanic. So it's like you kind of have to have it in there.
Yeah, we had to bring that back. So. And the gate was probably the best idea from the original game anyway. Like having a slow door that like makes you panic, like why does it take so long to close? We wanted to preserve that.
Yeah, I remember when I first started planning this version of the game, we didn't have the door. I remember it was like on the mechanics were hiding under the desk, the stage call, and you just use the cameras. And then I remember.
Oh, don't mention the stage call yet. That's a night 2 thing. Yeah.
Oh yeah, totally. Oh,
yeah, you don't see it on the desk right now, but you'll see it when night 2 starts. That mechanic is put on the desk, and we'll talk about that more then. But yeah.
Chucky
right now, probably closing.
Chucky laughed. I heard him laugh. The laugh was added in last minute because Peyton was like, "This sounds bad," and people.
Yeah, that was added in the later version.
Yeah.
Post-release.
There's also another line that he didn't add. That's probably never going to get added because he's being a little bitch about it.
It's really dumb. It's a really dumb line. He's like, "I feel very dizzy." It's not scary. It's not scary at all.
Okay, whatever you say.
I know later on in this night I showcase something else you can pretty much do on night 1. But we'll see when that happens.
The funny thing about this night is that you can just hold down the gate the entire night. And
that's what I do later on. You'll see. I think that's pretty much what I do at the end here. I just showcase that you can hold the gate.
Yeah, it's just a generic night one. It's not supposed to be anything amazing. It's just showing the general gist of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. And then there you go.
Yeah, see, now I'm just going to hold it down. Yep. What engaging gameplay. Thankfully, this is only night 1. We don't have every character a gate closing character like in the original game. So, I think in the original game it was only Jasper, Helen, and 97 that weren't gate characters. Everyone else was a gate character.
97?
Wait, no, 77. My bad.
Oh, you mean costume? Or no, I mean, 77 Chucky from the closet character. I forgot about him.
Yeah, you dumbass.
Oh, he's talking. He's at your door right now, but you have it closed, so you can't.
Yeah, I just keep it closed. That's something you can do on night 1. And pretty much for the rest of the game, he's the only one that has importance for the gate. He's the only one you close it on because we didn't have Munch get closed at the gate. Munch has a different mechanic.
You just beat the 6 a.m. Yay.
Yeah, you did it. Now we go into something completely original to this game, which is post-night.
Wow.
And I'll be showing that off a bit.
So this is the segment with Krusty in it. I remember this was... we didn't plan this until like last minute either. I remember I was like, I don't know what I want to do with this, and we just came up with it like right on the spot.
Yeah, I just came up with all of it. And it's basically you look at the shelves and you can like turn around by pressing space, and you listen. You move your mouse around and listen for like the squeaking, clanking sound that plays. And that's to signify where Krusty is, right there.
Yep. What was I gonna? Yeah.
And basically, you just flash him directly, and then
we have to wait until he leaves. Well, I think that's what you have to do, right? I don't know.
What causes Krusty to like?
When you hear his voice line play, that means that he's reset. That's the only time it plays. So when you flash him and you hear the voice line, that means you got him, and that's good.
Yeah, I remember right off the bat when I started this version, I was like, we need to have Krusty in this because like he's an ignored character, and I see a lot of potential with him. Because he's like something that like he's kind of like that fabled Golden Freddy-esque character. Like he's the one that like that wasn't in the final cast of that we know today.
Yeah, that's a good point. And his time, here I get the 2 hours. But I'm going to go back to the menu the moment this night starts. You'll see. But thankfully Krusty's design also came out really good. I liked like the withering under his eyes, and Decimate did a really good job with that.
Yeah, speaking of that, Krusty's model originally had a basketball t-shirt or basketball jersey.
And I thought it still did.
Was that a mistake? Or
yeah, that was a mistake. He originally he's supposed to be wearing a baseball thing, which he has right now. And it said wingers on it. Yeah, Decimate made a mistake. He didn't have a lot of references. So it was he put a basketball jersey on him, and it said wingers on it. And I told him, you got to change that. It's got to be a baseball jersey. And
then here you can see the stage call is now on the desk, a cool thing. The mechanic suddenly appears.
Yeah, I don't know. People haven't noticed that, I don't think. That it appears only on night 2. And onward.
Yeah, it syncs up with like the call, how like during that call they say, we gave you something on the desk that we like to call the stage call. They give it to you on that night. So, and that's pretty much that mechanic is supposed to be like the parallel for the vent. Maybe that's not exactly clear, but it gets rid of Jasper and Helen. It also gets rid of Pasquale, but we'll talk about that. It's basically like the vent mechanic, but without it being closed vent like in the original game. It works pretty much the same. Yeah, you just hold it, and then they go away. Yep, there's costume as well. He's saying Channel 4, the clever thing in the call where they say infestation issues and rat running around.
Yeah, I remember the original goal was that. So I wanted to be really realistic with this. I wanted the management and stuff wasn't supposed to know about the whole issue here with the animatronics moving, but that kind of thing that we were doing was dropped in the later calls because
as the clip went on, we decided like it was kind of impossible to avoid mentioning them if we wanted to explain them well.
Yeah.
We still were subtle with how we explained mechanics, like especially on 3 and 4. People just kind of figured out the mechanics for themselves. But yeah.
I think something I forgot to mention earlier is the camera layout. I remember, did we have a reason why we didn't use a map? It's basically pointless in this game, right?
Yeah, because like the map layout wasn't necessary to doing the game at all. Like you didn't have to keep track of where characters were exactly. I mean, costume, you just look around like, oh, where did he move? And you stare at him.
Yeah, that's something that... See, the thing is, real security systems don't have map layouts. And if they do, it's usually like on a piece of paper that's not even anywhere near the system. So I was like...
Yeah, they especially wouldn't have a map layout in 79. So.
Yeah, that's why they're black and white and all that.
Yeah, that too. VHS aesthetic. But yeah, like on top of that, we could have added a map if it was necessary to the mechanics, but it really just wasn't.
Yeah, that's why we released the map layout after the game was like out of its prime.
Yeah, it's like a cool tidbit. Yeah.
All right. Jasper just left.
Yep. And Jasper's mechanic, like I said, I think earlier, stage call. You hold that knob down, and what does it say, Andrew?
It says, quiet on the set, not fire on the set, not die. It doesn't say anything like that.
Some dumb shit, dude. I can't understand what it says, dude. I don't know.
Yeah, people have asked me for the sound file. People have asked me for the sound file because they want to know what it says. Like it clearly says quiet on the set.
Maybe it's just that we're so used to playing that from the beginning that we can hear it, but I think it's pretty.
Speaking of the stage call, I remember. So the stage call was added later, like when we were planning. Originally it was hiding under the desk, which is obviously something taken from Fnati, if any of you are familiar with
the beta version. Yeah. What an idea proposed in like the beta version of this, like way back when there was an entirely different modeler and like the models are being made in Cinema 4D, right? Mm-hmm. And not Blender. Yeah. And all of that was just not even being coded by me. It was just an entirely different thing. The idea was that there'd be multiple desks, and like depending on where the characters are around you, and there's getting rid of Jasper, you just hold it. Yeah. But anyways, as I was saying, there would be like you would choose the desk you hide under based on where the character is in the office. You'd hide under the desk the farthest away from the other character. It was just hiding, but different desks. It was a mechanic.
Yeah, I remember we scrapped that because we were like at a weird moment where we literally just released Fnati and we're like, we can't just copy what we already did, you know? Or what people are familiar with. So I remember...
Yeah, I think in that version we were also planning on it being one night, right?
Yeah, it was a week. It was called a week at Pizza Time Theater, yeah. I mean, no, 1 night at Pizza Time.
Yeah,
a shipped at Pizza Time Theater.
You're so dumb. Yeah. I think that was before you got in contact with Leon, right?
See, I knew Leon for a while. Like, I knew him since, like, 2019. But I lost contact with him at one point. I was like, there's definitely no way he's going to be interested in this again. And then when we had, like, actual stuff to show, we went ahead and got him involved. But yeah, after I was familiar with the show tapes from Chuck E. Cheese, and I remember that they always had started with like quiet on the set, or like there was this announcer voice. It was a repeating character in the show tapes. I was like, okay, we can use this and make it so it's like a mechanic, because the animatronics are kind of like built in from their show tapes to like respond to that voice. So I was like, okay, we'll use that, and surprisingly, people liked it. I didn't think people were going to like this mechanic because it's just kind of like a Fnati mechanic, but it's in the office.
I mean, I think it's more like a FNAF 2, like, mask wearing type of thing. Like, you play the sound to get them to go away, and then, like, yeah, we just beat the night.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think in the earlier versions, when I don't know what you were planning for the stage call, but like we didn't want to make it like click, just like click it and they go away. That would be dumb. So I made it holding it down and they twitch in front of you and stuff.
Yeah.
Here I think I'm just gonna mess it up and like go to the next night. Yeah, I just click on the teapot.
Oh, let's talk about the stack of mirrors. You want to explain that?
Let's not talk about that. Dude.
You don't want to talk about the stack.
Like, I don't know if you guys can see, because like now we're turned around and like just flashing the light like an idiot.
Yeah,
but in the center shelf, center row, there's a stack of pans that I thought looked like a stack of handheld mirrors because they had a handle and like I thought there was like a reflection in the middle of it. So I thought, oh, a stack of mirrors, and then Taste Gaming got that right. He was like, stack of mirrors. He looked at me. He's like, all right, cool. And then Fusion Z Gamer and Rexter's brother just like freaked out over it. It was such a big thing for them that they couldn't find the stack of mirrors.
And I was like, dude, where's the stack of mirrors? And Payne's like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, where? Show me where the stack of mirrors. And I showed him, like, I showed him, is this it? And he's like, yes. And I'm like, dude, that's pads.
I was like, god damn it. That was probably the funniest part of development. Yeah, I failed there. Yep.
Yeah, that's what happens when we don't play test and grammar check our games, you
know. Shut up. And now night 3.
Is this the night where Munch is active?
Yeah, this is the night he's introduced.
Okay, so
only on night 2 are there 2 characters introduced, which was Jasper and Costume. From here on out, it's just 1 character at a time.
All right, so to start off, Munch's mechanic was originally going to be very different. I think it was a ripoff. Was it a ripoff? It was a ripoff of like Am I Real from Dormitibus, and
he'd say the number and then you go find him on the camera.
Yeah, no, he would call you on the phone.
Oh.
It was based on
a golden call.
It was kind of like, I think it was like Golden Call, Am I Real, and that Fredbear thing from Fredbear's Fright, where he calls you and you have to press numbers on this weird pad thing. I remember, yeah, that was originally what was going to happen. Munch would call you and you had to find what camera he was on.
And we wanted to make him camera-based in this game because even though, like, I don't know when we planned for Coxman to be camera-based, but like on top of that, we wanted all the cameras to have importance.
Mm-hmm.
And Munch in the original demo of Five Nights at Chuck E. Cheese, he appeared on like the MacBook in the demo, right? There's like this stock photo room. There's a MacBook, and he'd appear on it, and it's like, nobody can save you now.
Yeah.
And, like, it was
and I thought that was a lot more, I don't know, original than just him appearing at the door like the final version. So I was like, okay, we can make something out of that.
For the time period, like something that forces you to use the cameras. I think I even recently watched Corey X Kenshin's gameplay of the demo, and he said that's good. It gives you reason to use the cameras. Some of the other games don't do that, and I was like, yeah, I guess that's kind of cool. I mean, as far as 2015 forcing you to use the cameras goes, that was decent. So we wanted to take that a step up with Munch and like really make him look on camera.
Especially when there's only like 5 cameras, you need to like make the most of it. So we definitely had to like force kind of like a camera strategy onto the player, especially because Fnatty was mostly just sitting in the office waiting for something to come in and then shutting off a camera.
Yeah, I was just pressing 3 different buttons, but in this I definitely went all out with like the gameplay and making sure that like the gameplay loop was nice, doing all of these different interactions. I wanted to do much better with gameplay than we did with Fnatty.
I remember there was originally a fiasco with Munch's renders on the cameras. Didn't we? Yeah, no, I remember originally he was supposed to have eyes on the cameras, but then we realized
we had a tough time like making him not look funny and making him look creepy.
See, the issue with Munch is that there's not a lot of reference of his actual robot. So when it came to making...
There's only one photo that I know of.
Yeah, and when it came to like making him, we had to improvise a lot. Decimate had to improvise a lot. So, I mean, regardless of what we did, it kind of came out looking goofy. Which is kind of a joke at this point, how dumb he looks. He's just a purple blob.
Yeah, with the first render we did of him, or the first render Lillian did of him, became like a joke in the Radiance server, which you all should join, by the way.
Yeah, please join our server.
Yeah. Yeah, we made an emote, and it was called Munchies. just an emote of his face.
Yeah,
funny stuff.
I remember. Yeah, so originally he was supposed to have eyes, and then we found out like, oh, this guy, he looks kind of creepy without eyes. So we removed his eyes for like almost every single render except his stage render.
Yeah, that's what we settled on. We thought that looked the best out of all of them.
I remember at one point he had his eyebrows removed as well, which is we thought was too far. It just didn't make sense, so we just kept his eyes.
Yeah.
That's Winstonless voicing him. You can probably barely tell. Winstonless is the same guy that voiced the phone guy in Tier TF2 Winter Wonderland.
Yeah, that game.
That's a great game.
That pretty much covers that. Yeah, there's not much more to talk about.
Munch's renders weren't done in the rooms, weren't they? I remember we rendered them separately. They weren't done with the lighting.
That's also what we did for costume. Costumes render in channel 4 is actually in the room, and then all those other renders are also like just transparent, cut out with the same lighting, but they aren't actually in the room. That's what we did with Munch and costume. I think we also did that with one of the custom exclusives that I guess we'll talk about later. But yeah, very few of the characters are actually rendered in the cameras.
Yeah, because there was an issue with so every single camera render was edited in Paint.net with this plugin that I had. And the issue with that plugin is with transparent renders, it creates this like weird white outline around the characters, and it doesn't look like it fits in the scenery.
Then I figured out an amazing way to make it work because you were dumb. So I made it work.
Okay, whatever. Sure, whatever you say.
I mean, like there's still some renders in the game that like did the weird cutting out with Chucky before we knew how to actually do it well and like make it transparent. There's still some of those renders in the game, but then for renders like Munch and costume, I figured out a way to make it work so we didn't have to cut it out and like worry about where characters were positioned. So that was good. But yeah, I think there would have been an issue with having them have shadows in the cameras.
Yeah. Is there anything else we need to cover here? What time is in the night right now? I think it's like 4 a.m.
I guess we'll find out when he clicks on the cameras. Yeah, 5 a.m.
So the soundtrack was composed by Lillian, the main ambience at least. She was supposed to do way more.
And then you did the two random ambiences.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Well, we'll talk about the ambience in the next night a bit more.
Yeah, with time. Yep. And here, let's see what I do. I don't remember what I do.
This is like the point where like it kind of becomes impossible to deal with Krusty. But it is possible. Yeah. You just have to be very quick, which is kind of hard to do when you're doing this.
Yeah, people already kind of do that. They just speed run it, so maybe that's a flaw. But like at the same time, it's not because people thought he was confusing anyway.
I think it's beneficial to have a 2-hour boost in this game because I will admit there is points where it gets kind of overkill-ish, where you're constantly dealing with the characters over and over. And, the nights get boring, of course, sometimes. That's an issue with every fan game. So I feel like the 2-hour boost kind of helps it a little bit.
Yeah. And the only reason it's not an issue, like in the custom night later on, where it's like you play through 5 or so. I think you play through 7 more nights to beat all the challenges in the custom night. And like the only entertaining thing there is that you play with new characters every time. So it's good there. Like there's new stuff every night. And then it's like, if you're pretty much doing the same thing but harder, it gets boring. So I don't know what I'm doing here. I should have just failed post-night already. But
yeah, I'm surprised you're still... I remember there was... When you were showing me this, you like died instantly on one night. I don't remember which one it was.
I don't remember that either.
I think it was night 5. Probably night 5. We're only on night 4 right now, so... Wait, no, this is night 3.
Yeah. Something I should mention is that like on nights 1 and 2, you can always follow him and they'll pretty much stay in the same place. But on nights 3 and 4, if you hover over them for like more than half a second, they'll move again. So you have to like really click on them instantly. And
you just died. Goodbye.
But yeah, that didn't really matter anyway because people just speedrun the section.
We're on night 4.
Yep.
All right, so...
And this night, Helen is introduced.
Yeah, we'll get in... Let me talk about the ambience real quick, and then we'll get into Helen. So, the ambience was originally... Well, I mean, the majority of the soundtrack was originally supposed to be made by Lillian, but, She went AWOL like mid development, and we have no idea where she is right now. So I like last minute had
no
to
one
like
does.
I had to make like 2 or 3 tracks because she wasn't around.
I think it was 3. There were 2 random ambiences you made, and then the close up when they get close in ambience.
Yeah, I originally wanted there to be like you know the jingles in Five Nights at Candy's 1, like the weird music boxes you'll hear during the nights. I originally wanted that to be in this game, but of course Lillian wasn't around to make those, so that didn't end up being in the game.
We did bring back like the voice sounding ambiences from the original game. Like we did something that kind of sounds like voices and like muffled, noises like that. And I think he did that out of a phone call. So
yeah,
like one of our phone calls, yeah.
So when it came to Helen, I remember when we first started this, we were not going to have her in the game. In fact, her portrait section in the original version of the game was going to be closed off and it was going to say out of order. And the reason why is because we had no idea how we're going to make a long-haired hippie chicken look scary. And then when
I thought we could do it, but then like back then, Andy was the person modeling for us in the beta, Chucky, and wait till you get to the extras, you see the characters he was making, dude.
Yeah.
I don't think he could have made Helen scary, but
yeah, you tried to make her at one point.
Oh yeah, that was like a brief inspiration thing, and that quickly died out. But yeah, again, Decimate did really good with these designs and making
when it comes to animatronic characters, I think Decimate is kind of the reason why this game is popping so much with the designs. I remember Decimate was like, we need to bring Helen back. I think Decimate was like convinced me that like we should bring Helen back because he was like, oh, I'll make.
It was either Decimate or me. I know I wanted Decimate. I know I wanted Helen to come back. So.
Yeah, and I think the game wouldn't be the same without her anyway. That would have sucked if she wasn't in the game. So
Right. Yeah, that would have been really bad.
All right. Yeah. So, you heard the sound that she makes when she.
Yeah, she makes like a Chica groaning sound, like how in FNAF when there are groaning sounds when they're close by.
So when it came to making that
That's
sound,
what it's about.
I have the original sound files for Chucky's. Helen has this stage sound when she's on the stage camera in the original game. It's like a weird giggle sound. And I sped that up and I found out that it's a child giggling. And I edited that a whole boatload to the point where it didn't sound like the same exact sound.
Yeah, and that sound, like people think it's like a whoosh of wind, but like what we wanted it to be was like a chicken like groan kind of thing. I don't know. Like an animal kind of noise. Yeah. But yeah, that sound is pretty much a cue for when she comes into your office. Not immediately, but like when she's close by. The way she's coded is that she only appears in your office when you turn around to go to the gate and then turn back from it. And the reason we did that, the reason I coded it like that, is because like I really wanted her to be like her own separate thing that you have to deal with, rather than her always overlapping with Jasper. I thought that would have been an issue.
Yeah.
Or overlapping with Pasquale, because on night 5 Pasquale is like press stage call when you leave. Because like if you could always press the stage call when you just leave the camera, like I don't think. And you only leave the camera in these later nights when Jasper appears, like when you see the flickering. Because you want to stay on the cameras as much as possible to watch costume. So there was a huge issue.
Yeah, you've done a good job at keeping costume at bay. I'm surprised.
It's really not that hard. Like there's a lot of time in these nights to do that.
Yeah.
He's very forgiving because like people have. Well, yeah, this also reminds me. People have been saying that like you have to watch when costume's on 20 AI. You have to watch him for 5 minutes of the night because it takes him roughly a minute for him to get to your office. But that's not like how it works at all. Watching him raises his cooldown. When you aren't watching him, like it lowers by 8 in-game increments, and when you watch him, it raises by 5. His meter raises while you watch him, and that's why it works.
So I just saw something that briefly happened. Jasper comes in right when you're closing the door on Chucky. And
yeah, people complain about that, like, oh, it's not possible to do, but it is.
It is. So as the nights go on, it's quick. The way I think Chucky's AI works is if you close the door on him, the faster he'll leave on the later nights. It's the same way that it is in Thomas's. Thomas is Dehydrated, where if he's in the earlier nights, he takes a bit longer to leave, and then the later nights he'll go away like the second you close the door.
Oh yeah, the way Chucky works is that like the gate has to be all the way closed in order for you to get rid of normal Chucky, like the Chucky that appears on the stage here.
Mm-hmm.
If we're talking about modern Chucky, he's coded completely different with the gate. But normal Chucky, the gate has to be all the way closed, or his cooldown runs out and like the gate is like more than 3/4 closed, he'll go away.
Yeah.
So,
which is smart because he's crawling on the ground, and he can easily get by the gate if it's only halfway closed.
Yeah, we didn't want to make it like if it's closing and like it lowers the cooldown, he could just leave if you close it only a little bit. We didn't want that to happen.
Right.
So.
That went by fast. I'm surprised.
Yeah, there was a lot more to talk about there.
All right, and then you're probably gonna die.
Oh yeah, we didn't even mention that Helen appears on the sides. That she's a bit more sneaky.
Yeah, she's supposed to be kind of like the Oswald of this game. You have to Oswald from Fnati. I mean, you have to look for her. And
people that played the game just like heard the noise and like assumed that you had to keep pressing the stage call and shit until she returned because they didn't understand that.
Yeah.
You can see her on the sides.
And there's some people only think that she spawns on one side. I've seen a lot of people complain that I check my right side and she's not there and she kills me. Like yeah.
There's a left side.
Yeah, it gives the purpose to have the office scroll, you know.
Yeah, exactly. We didn't want to be like Fnati where it had no purpose. So.
All right. So now we're on night 5, I think, right?
Yeah, Pasquale's introduced you. Would you like to explain Pasquale, Andrew?
So yeah, Pasquale in the original game is a Golden Freddy character. And originally what he was going to be is that you'll see him look at you and you have to open up your camera. Well, later on we realized that there's no possible way with that mechanic that Pasquale will ever kill you. So we changed him to being a stage call character. And, that's obviously worked out. The jump scare, if you've ever seen it, it's kind of a combination of what we did for the other jump scares, and then it has, like, the last final frames of it, it's kind of like a Golden Freddy kill screen, which I feel like is definitely a smart choice instead of being lazy and just doing a render.
Yeah, exactly. That's the inspiration for that. Because the original jump scare did.
Yeah, that's also why he's not that active on this night. You don't it's really kind of rare to see him active on this night onward because he's more meant to be like an Easter egg kind of character. Yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot what I was gonna say. Shoot. Oh yeah, the phone guy. Yeah, so phone guy at this point is already, he's fully kind of just at this point not even trying to hide the fact that these animatronics are moving.
Yeah, that they
he's lost all hope at this point. Now, he mentions incidents in the calls, and I know I said I wasn't really going to talk about the lore, but when it came to making up that kind of thing, there was no basis behind it. We kind of just made up these random creepy moments to add more kind of like a creepy stigma to the environment.
Yeah.
So for those overthinking it, saying a murder happened or something like that, we don't even know what happened. There's nothing. We don't.
Yeah, we didn't play.
Yeah, so I mean, that's all I'll say about that. See, when I try to copy what Scott did with FNAF 1, where he made up this whole kind of thing, and people latched onto it, and people have been theorizing about it all the way up to this day, and that's kind of what I wanted to recreate. And it's obviously working, since people are theorizing some very weird stuff about the game.
Yeah. I guess, the incident that happens on Night Fiber, they all spaz out. I guess you could say, we tried to be like FNAF 1 because, the Bite of 87 was, a thing made up on Night 1 of FNAF 1. And, if FNAF 1 hadn't blown up, I don't think there was story planned for what the Bite of 87 was.
Yeah, no, Scott,
I think it was a creepy thing.
Scott admitted in the interview with Daco that all of that stuff was just kind of made off the top of his head, and he just kind of set
and then
it up
once it got popular.
Yeah. He's admitted that he's never known who did the Bite of 87, I believe. I'm not entirely sure.
I don't think he said that. I think like from the get-go he didn't know who it was. I think he just made it up for like tension, and that's what we did here.
Yeah.
It's kind of the same.
Yeah, I don't want to try to ruin theories or anything like that, but like it's kind of annoying because like this is just a one-off game, you know. I'm not gonna waste my writing skills on a bunch of kids getting killed and possessing animatronics.
Yeah, but like, that's such a trope. That's a trope that's been used a lot anyway. Like all the animatronic fan games just do that. Someone was killed and soul possesses it. Yeah, that's what they all do.
I don't like animatronic fan games. That's why we mostly focus on like the Finati story and stuff like that. So when it came,
and that's why even when we did this animatronic fan game, like when we did this one, we did like not the typical sectioned designs. We did like realistic animatronics and like that kind of thing. We wanted to like stand out.
Basically the gist that I wanted to convey is that these characters are self-aware, and they're like, it's kind of like Toy Story logic where they are alive. There's no reason for it, they just are. And they're mad because on this night it's being revealed. Well, in the game's description too is that they're being replaced with the Cyberamic characters.
It was on night 4 that it said in the call that like they're getting trashed.
Yeah, and I think it's blatantly obvious that that's what's going on here because Chucky says that he's not going to be replaced. So they're trying to basically.
On night 5, he has that line. It's added to his selection of lines. He can say, "I will not be replaced."
Yeah. So at that point, he's kind of like. It's kind of like meant to be. That's kind of the surface lore of the game. These characters are alive and they're trying to keep themselves from being forgotten and ending up like Krusty the Cat.
Yeah, that's pretty much the whole lore. Yeah, they just do not want to be replaced. That's the lore of the game. So.
That doesn't go for it.
That's the surface level lore, like nights 1 to 5, and then like when we get to True Nightmare, you'll see the ending for that.
Yeah, I'm not going to go fully into detail with that, but, you know, I think if you have a brain, you'll be able to understand what that ending's implying.
Yeah, we'll talk about it when we get to it. It's in this footage.
Yeah, no, so the whole replace thing doesn't apply to the Chucky costume.
Yeah. The Chucky costume is a costume, not an animatronic. So.
Yeah, no, he's not possessed by anything. He can just lift up gates on his own. Leave him alone. Oh, there's a check screen. So with the ending, I didn't want to do anything too out there because this game is kind of just meant to be like a one-off project. It's just meant to be like a tribute to the original FNAF games. So there's just a check screen, and then the name of the protagonist is revealed. And then I think we're about to.
I think we go to the extras.
Yeah, we're going to the extras. Yeah. There's the extra.
See the zoom in feature.
I remember, what was it? GCan said that this zoom in feature was a terrible idea, which I think,
let's not talk about GCan.
Let's not talk about GCan. He's probably watching this right now. Hi, GCan.
Hello. Yeah, I'm just doing the zoom in feature to like look at the little details on.
Speaking of these show tapes that are playing on the extras, Jasper. I mean, if you're part of our Discord server. Jasper says something that sounds kind of bad, and we didn't realize that we put
in one of them.
Well, I don't know if he's actually saying it or not. I'm not going to say what it actually is, but he sounds like he's saying something.
I'm not going to say which show tape either, but in one of them it sounds like he says a bad word.
A very bad word.
I don't think he does.
He obviously doesn't, but it sounds just like it. It's hard to not say that it doesn't sound like it. So, we kind of at last minute, So the issue is that the show tapes are, some of Chucky's early show tapes are kind of racist. There's a lot of references to that kind of. Yeah. So we kind of had to be very picky with the show tapes of these, for the extras, because we didn't want to get canceled for that kind of thing.
I love racism in my FNAF fan game.
Yeah. There's the jump scares that Ollie animated. Ollie's not here. Ollie's deafened right now. Come on, Ollie. Winstonless animated that Munch jump scare.
Yeah, and then we just did it in different lighting and removed the eyes.
And there's the.
So that's the one jump scare. Now we're doing other concepts.
Yeah. So here's Andy 25's version of the game. Yeah. Which I mean.
These are the models that he made.
Debatably kind of bad.
You can tell by Mr. Munch.
And then Pasquale too.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, Beta Munch is something, you know.
I think everyone saw that that backstage cam. We posted that on the page.
Yeah, there's the stage right there.
Yep.
And then making Chucky. So yeah, this is the first model that was made when we switched over back to Blender and all that.
This was a last-minute thing that I put in. I just went into the old chat and I found some images that Decimate sent, and I just put them in. So that worked out.
Yep, and there's Post Night. A lot of people are like, "What's Post Night? What's Post Night?" Like, it's what you played throughout the entire game, you idiot.
Yeah, and then there's these challenges for replay value. Yeah. Yeah, and you can do this on any star challenge, and it can change the color of it.
I think we're moving on to True Nightmare after this.
I think after this, I do a thing in Custom Night where I show off Costumes Mechanic because you don't really see it.
Oh.
Yeah, I go into Custom Night here, and I don't have any of them unlocked. I don't try to do I don't try to do Nightmare either. I think what I do here is hurry up, Peyton! Oh my god.
I really like that we picked the footage of the animatronics for the Custom Night.
Yeah, that's also a thing. Yeah, there's a video playing in the background. That was really cool.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's not much footage of the actual Gen 2 portrait bots, so we kind of just had the only footage that was available and just made it. Like, we edited it a bit and just put it in the background.
Yeah, here I'm just going into Custom Night, and I think if we view the cameras in a moment, you'll see that it's like across all of the nights, it's like on the first night it's October 1st, 1979, then it's October 2nd, 3rd, 4th. It parallels perfectly with like nights 1, 2, 3, 4, and here it's night 6. It's October 6th. So this is like the night 6, I guess, but it can be whatever challenge you play. That was a perfect month for me to pick too. Like I had to go back in calendar to make sure that was like historically accurate, like that that existed. So yeah, here I'm just like I'm not looking at him and I'm letting him just like come to my office. Even staring at him the slightest bit like makes him take a good amount longer. So like here I thought he would just come very quickly.
Yep.
But like me staring at him on accident here because something happened.
I think
like that's gonna take a lot longer for him to get here.
I think his original mechanic, he was just supposed to take the flashlight originally, wasn't he? I don't remember if he. I don't see.
I think he was just gonna jump scare you. I mean,
yeah, no, yeah, he was originally supposed to. He was originally supposed to run at you and kill you.
Yeah. Yeah, he would just reach your office and then you would die. But here I made it more parallel to the 77 Chucky in the original game.
Yeah.
And I made it so like he takes away your shit. So. Yep. And he does a cool thing. When he finally reaches the back, he's going to do a cool thing that y'all will see.
Yeah, that's probably the...
Yeah, I'm just waiting for it because I was accidentally...
When we made what you're about to show, we already knew that people are going to put that in their thumbnails. People are going to put that in their...
Thumbnail Fusion's first video. I remember Andrew messaging me like, dude, if this mechanic makes it into the final, it's going to be the Thumbnail Fusion's first video.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah,
everyone was like, Chucky just broke down my door!
Yeah, and when I showed this to everyone, people thought that was a really cool thing. Like, that was like...
Yeah, it adds more of a tension with the player.
Yeah, and it's also a thing that hasn't been done before. Like, the animatronics have never, like, held up shit. I don't think. I can't think of any fan games that have done that.
And I think the player's eyesight right now. Yeah, well, I mean, we just got rid of it.
Yeah.
The player's
we all probably noticed there was a blur around. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So I think it should cut. Yeah. All right. Yeah. There's True. So this is Costa Vesta playing True Nightmare.
Yep. If you don't mind, I'd like to talk about this. This is a very interesting topic for me to talk about. So. Pretty much every challenge that we glossed over, like there was Dolly Dimples, Munch Jr., The Bear, and Modern Chuck added into the mix by doing all the challenges through Custom Night. And basically every challenge up until True Nightmare isn't a luck-based challenge. The way I coded it is that like I made sure there was always time for you to deal with each character. So like no matter what happens, there's always a strategy that will work for you to get out of the situation. Until you reach True Nightmare, where the issue that makes this mode luck-based is costume. And the reason he makes it luck-based is because you have to stare at him in your spare time. Now, maybe that's fine in Nightmare, where like there's still downtime regardless of the RNG. But in this mode, where there's 4 more characters, you have very little spare time. And your spare time is affected extremely by the RNG and slight differences in the characters showing up.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes those slight differences make the difference in whether or not you're going to beat True Nightmare. And that sucks. I'm not proud of that, but I mean that's kind of a thing. In fan games.
In the end, it was a lose-lose situation. If we touched any of the main characters' AI, the main game probably would have been boring.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many solutions I could come up with for like how to do costume. Like maybe I could make the other characters like not RNG based, like they always have a fixed movement, and that would suck. There's also a concept where like maybe I make his cooldown slow down while other characters are there, but then like that would kind of make gameplay really weird, and like probably you could just cheese that too.
Mm-hmm.
Either it would be really bad, or like I'd have to do some really crazy coding to make that work that I don't even know how I'd do. So there's only solutions that people can propose, but like nothing that I think would make the game better.
Yeah, but there was just we didn't even test this. Like we didn't even know if it was beatable when we released it. So like it was kind of
we had to do patches.
It kind of came to the point where we just accepted the fact that there's probably no one ever going to be able to beat this. But all of a sudden, like 4 or 5 people have. So I mean, woohoo! I guess.
Yes. Yeah.
That's why the ending. When we did the ending, we didn't really do that much with it. Because we didn't think...
Yeah, I guess y'all will see that. Andrew was kind of hoping that no one would beat True Nightmare because of the ending. He was worried about its perception, people's perception of it.
Yeah, there's a lot of people... I've seen tweets, people saying the ending sucks.
Let's not talk about it yet. Let's see this gameplay and his strategy. So as you can see, let's talk about the custom night exclusive, since that we didn't put all the challenges in this footage. So the first one is Modern Chuck. You unlock him from beating Nightmare, which I showed earlier on in my footage before this was Coast of Estus footage.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, he works like his older counterpart. People thought, oh, so like costume? No, like the actual Chuck animatronic. You close gate, and the way he works is you don't close the gate all the way. His cooldown before he like checks if the gate is closing or open speeds up as you close the gate. So something you could do that like makes him more lenient is you could like wait for his cooldown to be almost running out, and then it close the gate a little bit and he goes away. I made sure it was like that because it would be more lenient if he was like that.
Yeah.
And also kind of weird and finicky like in the original game, so I thought that worked out.
Something I wanted to mention. This night is not canon. I mean, like, the main part of True Nightmare, like, Custom Night is not canon. Modern Chucky is not...
Why is it not canon, Andrew? Why is it not canon?
Because, you know, Modern Chucky doesn't exist at this point in time.
But, Andrew, maybe this doesn't exist at all.
Let's not talk about that.
No, let's not talk about that. Okay, dude.
But, I mean, like, for the people that say, main Chucky got replaced with Modern Chucky. So funny. Like, no, it's not canon. Really... It's not canon. I think it should be blatantly obvious that Custom Night is not canon.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not canon to like the rest of like Fred left, and then suddenly all these characters from like years forward came to attack him. Wait, no, not Fred. I mean the phone guy. The phone guy left, and then all of a sudden you're playing on Saturday over and over again, and all these characters are coming in each time.
Yeah.
Obviously not canon.
Speaking of the characters, so Munch Jr. was a suggestion from Ultra Knight. So for those who have been complaining about Munch Jr., you can like go to Ultra Knight about that and like, you know, beat him up. Originally Munch Jr. was supposed to be the Warblettes, but we didn't end up... So the issue is the Warblettes don't have many references. At least the original versions don't. So we just ended up not having the Warblettes in this game.
Yep. Yeah, they probably would have worked like the exact way that Munch Jr. works here.
And
like it would have worked fine.
There was the Mopsy sisters too, but the Mopsy sisters just do not look scary. Don't even ask about them, like seriously.
Wait, no, yeah, it was the Mopsy sisters that probably would like maybe work the same as Munch Jr. But I think instead of Munch Jr., the original idea was that we'd use the warblets, and they would be like the mini arenas from SL.
Yeah, and that would have been probably 10 times worse than Munch Jr.
Yeah.
I think
maybe we'll do like custom night update.
Right, so we just beat it.
Just beat it.
So originally in Costa stream, the game crashed, but let's watch the ending.
Yeah, this is an ending I recorded myself, so because this game crashed when you beat it, which really sucks. But he was the first one to technically beat it.
Yeah.
Let's watch. Everyone be quiet. Head grabbing. Ooh.
I want to see my head come off.
Flickering. Oh my gosh! It's a mirror! Stack of mirrors joke.
Stack of mirrors joke. Yep. It's just so funny.
Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly what it is.
Dude, there's people that actually think that this is a stack of mirrors joke. Like it's an act that like.
Yeah, why would we do that? This was in the game in the first patch. Just no one had gotten to it yet, dude.
I remember someone asked why we picked this music for this. This is a music taken from show tapes with Krusty, I think. And
yeah, I think.
Originally, this music was supposed to be used for the trailer that we were going to do, I think. But that trailer never happened, of course.
This music was also originally in the extras, but then we took it out to put it in the credits here.
Yeah, and then you can see we basically just did what we did with Fnatic credits here.
Yeah, and we instead of like doing old versions, we just kind of compare old and new. Like you can see Chucky in a camera, Jasper there, like in both games. Old. Yeah. Yep. And you can see Decimate, the black. Oh yeah, the black signed at all the rooms for this game.
Yeah, no, he's probably the savior of this game, to be honest.
Yeah, he did great. Yep, Costa Vesta also did testing before release.
Yeah, we released the game before he even like beat all the challenges, which is kind of our fault.
Yeah, because we really wanted to release it on July 4th, so we just kind of put it out.
The special thanks originally had a lot more people on there, but you know.
Yeah.
Peyton decided to rip me off.
Such as G word.
Gnostic?
Yeah, Gnostic.
Yeah, hi, yeah, we were originally going to thank the freddit mods for banning us from their server.
Yeah, maybe if they didn't ban us, this game wouldn't exist. something dumb like that.
The person who's Max is the Radiance technician. So for those who are asking, that's him. Max is the Radiance technician.
Yeah,
he's Russian. He's a really cool dude. And that's the game. Does that end here?
Yep.
Wow.
I think I stay on the menu for a little bit longer, and you can see 3 stars. Even I'm logged in as me, and I have 3 stars, but like I cheated to beat Into Your Nightmare to like get the ending for the footage. So I didn't really beat the game. I know I coded it, but I've never even beaten Nightmare. So
you thug.
I think before the footage ends, like Ollie, was there anything you'd like to say?
Well, I mean, I had to take a shower during most of this, so I kind of have no clue what's going on.
That's great.
Thank you for playing.
Looking here. Yeah, Ollie, what would you rate the soundtrack out of 10 for this game?
I think I rate it like 10 out of 10 just because I made it.
Yeah, it's about to end probably.
Yeah, here I'm just showing all the challenges that you had to beat beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and these each unlock a character. I think there's one thing I'd like to say about the ending. Like, I'm not going to exactly say what it is because apparently Andrew likes it theorizing. But I'd like to pose a few questions for the audience. So, like, give them little hints if you don't mind, Andrew.
The recording's about to end, so we're going to be going off and no recording here, but go ahead.
Okay, dude, fine. I'll do. It doesn't matter, dude. You can just do this post-processing, like edit it, make it pause or whatever. But just, like, consider these few things that we chose to do in the game. Like, for example, why does Fred decide to stay on night 5 even though he could leave on night 4? Why is there heavy breathing after the costume reveals that there's a mirror? What does a mirror typically mean? You know what I mean? Why are the flags backwards in the office? There's all these different little things.
Why doesn't costume kill you?
Yeah, why doesn't costume kill you too? Yeah, why is he the only character that isn't an animatronic and he also doesn't kill you? There's all these things that you could piece together a theory that works with all of that, and it would make sense. You just have to figure out what the theory is. So I might as well pose all those things to like hint at what the intended ending was.
Yeah. Oh, and in the original game, Chucky's not kidnapping you in the original Chuck E. Cheese game, by the way. For those people who think that. That should help with the
Are you
lore as
talking about the
well.
original ending?
Huh?
Are you talking about the original ending?
Yeah, where the Shadow Chucky pops up in your bedroom.
Yeah, our ending is actually parallel to what the original ending actually means. So maybe that'll also help you guys out
Yep.
with what it means.
All right.
That's pretty much everything.
Is there any last comments that want to be said?
Well, I think all in all, I hope people aren't disappointed with like the content of this game. Like this whole video is like less than an hour, but maybe it'll be more than an hour now that we're going off the footage. But this is a tinier game compared to Fnatic 2020. I don't know why Fnatic 2020 blew up with like how bad the gameplay was. Maybe it's because there's a lot more content than most fan games for the time. But I feel people went into this thinking like this would be massive, like Fnatic 2020. But there wasn't a classic mode. We decided not to do that, and we had custom night unlockables, I guess, but not really lore or anything. It was a very short experience of this game. I think we did better with gameplay than Fnatic 2020.
Yeah.
But I think we downgraded with content. But
that'll be improved with Oblivious Casa. Just say.
Yeah, Castle will be better with content and gameplay.
Yeah, it's our magnum opus probably.
Yeah, I think it's debatable whether or not this is better than Fnatic 2020.
I think it is.
Like we did better with gameplay. Yeah, I mean, yeah, sure you do. I mean, you think the graphics suck. The Fnatic 2020 commentary coming soon, y'all.
All right, yeah, totally, sure.
Right. For sure.
So yeah,
that's all I want to say.
I don't have anything to say. I think you pretty much summed up what I wanted to say. Thanks for everyone for enjoying the game. I hope everyone enjoyed this video if you watched entirely, since I know we're pretty boring people to listen to.
Thanks for all the support on this project too. We didn't expect it to.
Yeah, no, it has blown up a lot more than Fnatic, I think.
Hopefully the things that we said were interesting to you guys. Cool insights on everything.
And one last comment from me. Chucky's 2 is not happening. Stop asking. Please. 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 All right. That's all I wanted to say.
Great.
So yeah, I think that's it. All right. I'm going to stop the recording here. All right. Thank you everyone for watching. All right. Have a good one.
Thanks for watching.
Love you, Radiance community.
All right. Bye.